Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of Jay's Beer Review. We are into the fourth and final beer of the March Madness Beer Review Tour. I'm going to review one of my very own home brews, and we're going to call this one JJ's Raspberry Wheat. Now, I've been brewing my own beer for about a little over a year. I've made probably about 5 or 6 beers at this point, and so far I don't make anything great. I've had one beer that I thought was good, and the other 4 were either like slightly below average or whatever, so we'll see how this one comes out. Also, what I want to do in this review is show you exactly how I rank a beer for the viewers at home, so you get an understanding of how I come up with the numbers that I do. As far as glass today, I'm going to use my Pittsburgh Steelers Pilsner glass. I don't know the alcohol percentage in this because it is a home brew. I'm guessing it's probably about a 5% alcohol by volume. With further ado, let's get reviewing. Alright, I can smell it from here, so it's got a pretty potent smell. For starters, let's talk about the body. It's got like almost like a grapefruit color to it. I was expecting it to be more on the pink side. It's pretty cloudy, so that's a good sign. The head is, it's like a 1 pinky length head, and for a wheat beer, it's probably relatively low. Probably should be a lot more, but at least it's at least it's carbonated. It is relatively on the soapy side. It's not real thick, but I mean it's a wheat beer, so it shouldn't be like real thick. Anyway, as far as that, but it looks well carbonated, so at least I got that part of it down. Let's give it a smell. All right, well, it's got a real cider smell to it. Also, you can definitely tell the presence of raspberries as well. I did use real raspberries in this brew, so I was expecting it to be very raspberry. I'm not getting a vinegar smell, so that's good. That doesn't mean it doesn't taste like it could still be a vinegar taste. I've had that problem on a couple of them, so we'll see if this is as well. The head's not lasting that long, so it's dying relatively quickly. Let's go ahead and give this a try. Okay. For starters, you can taste the raspberries instantly, which is good. It should taste like raspberries. I'm not getting a real big, wheat type taste to it. And it is a wheat beer, so I was thinking it was going to have more wheatness to it. It's very tart. I don't know if I expected this to be tart. I'm not getting a sense of vinegar yet, so that's good. It definitely tastes better than it did when I first brewed it. So maybe letting it age like another month was the right thing to do. Certainly not the best raspberry wheat beer I've had either, so. But overall, so far I'm not disappointed how I made it. And I don't know if it's something I would want to share with people and say, oh, try out my great brew. But I wouldn't be embarrassed to share this either. I'm going to go ahead and drink some more of this and get back to you. Okay, well, I'm back. And as you can see, I got a little bit of beer here left. And as I drank further into it, I was able to kind of, get a little bit more into the flavor and stuff. For starters, it didn't get vinegary cidery on me at all, so that's pretty good. That means, the process of brewing the beer was at least done properly. Is it a great beer? Absolutely not. But it's drinkable, and it's, so far, I would say, right around an average beer. I think anybody who would have drank my home brew, if I invite them over and had a home brew, I don't think they'd be like, ooh, you could even tell, when I'm drinking it, I wasn't struggling at all like I did with that vanilla Java Porter. It's going down relatively easy. On the palate, it's pretty drinkable. It goes down, quite well, actually. I'm pretty satisfied how this came out. I've been only doing this for like a year, and it's only like my 5th beer, so I don't expect to make some great home brew. So I'm pretty pleased at how this one came out. But one of the characteristics I did notice is it is tart. It's got like a tart raspberry flavor to it, but that's kind of like after. The first sip I get is maybe like a sour grape or something, and not like a sour, like something spoiled sour, just like a sour grape type flavor to it. It's not bad. It's not, unpleasantly bad taste. It doesn't taste like a wheat beer at all. I'm pretty I thought it'd have a lot more wheat characteristics, but it doesn't. It goes down clean. The finish is easy. I mean, not bad for a home brew. But I'm going to go ahead and finish this off and give you my final thoughts and grades. Final thoughts and grades. When I had this a month ago, when I first made it, I was like, oh man, I think I made a terrible beer. But as I let it age, it got better. I'm actually going to give this a 2.3. A 2.5 is an average beer, so this is a below an average beer, but it's drinkable. Like a 2.0 is like a drinkable beer. So is it great? Absolutely not. Is it even average? Absolutely not. But I didn't expect that. I'm happy how it turned out as far as what I expected out of it. So 2.3, I would say slightly below average beer, and I'm pretty pleased with that as a home brew. And that's basically what I got to say. So till next time, thanks for watching, and go Saints.
Okay, well I'm back, and now I'm going to show you how I rank a beer. You can see where I get to plug in my numbers based on a 5-score beerings, 5-score system, and you have aroma, appearance, flavor, palate, and overall impression. What I do is I basically plug in my numbers, and that tells me, and it takes that into consideration and calculates that to give me my overall total score. And that's how I come up with numbers for my beer reviews afterwards. So taking my home brew into consideration, we're going to go through it. I always skip aroma first and go right down to appearance, since that's the first part of a beer you recognize. Get to appearance. This here is ranked out of a 1 to 5 scale. So with this particular beer, on its appearance, how would I rank this beer on a scale of 1 to 5? And, 5 being the highest, 1 being the lowest, and a 3 being about average. I thought this had a, average appearance, and I would have given this a 3. Okay, going with aroma, this one being out of a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the best smelling beer, 1 being the worst. If a 5 is an average smelling beer, I thought this was like slightly below average in smell, and I would have given this a 4 in smell. So flavor is the next thing. And on a scale of 1 to 5, or 1 to 10 in flavor, 10 being the best, 1 being the worst. If a 5 is an average flavor, I again awarded this with like a 4 in flavor. So I gave this a 4 in flavor. Oh, this is 5. Let's see if we can get that down to 4. The next thing is palate. On a scale of 1 to 5, how it went down on your palate. And I believe this is a 1 to 5 as well. 5 being the best, 1 being the worst, 3 being about average. I thought this went down averagely, so I would give this a 3 on the palate. And an overall impression is just what I overall thought about this beer. And this here is just a scale of 1 to 20, 20 being the best and 1 being the lowest. If 10 is average as far as overall impression, I would have given this about a 9. So once you do all that, that calculates what your numbers are, and it gives you what your total for this beer is. And when you take into all those considerations, my score comes up as a 2.3. That's what I rank this beer as. And if a 2.5 is an average beer, obviously the score being out of 5, this is a slightly below average beer. And for this particular beer, I'm pretty pleased with that. So that's how I rank beer. And that's where I get my numbers from. So when you see me say, oh, this beer ranked a 4.1 or whatever, this is how I rank my beer. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed my explanation of how I rank my beers. And now going forward, you'll have a clear definition of how I exactly got to the score I did. Thanks for watching.